That's yeah. Okay.
That's
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
No, that makes a lot of sense because to my understanding, I haven't gotten as much as you into the whole energy movement and understanding and Reiki healing. I know you said you had a different name for it. I would have understood it as me transferring my energy to another person, like my positive energy to them, and I guess uplifting their negative energy or blockages that they may have in their body.
Right. Well, it's like it's a lot like trigger points. If you have trigger points in the body,
Mhm.
say you have a bunch of trigger points in your arm on like the side, they're going to be pulling neuro drive. So when you go to contract, it's going to be like pulling neuro drive over here to these knots. And in the same way, in your energy field, there's these knots, and there's energy moving around you all the time, flowing, but it gets stuck and it starts pooling in these spots that are stagnant, and then it
Mhm.
creates more of a blockage. And it's just like trigger points; they need to be processed and broken up.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing about, I study like holistic health, and everything is integrated. And so you can look at things on the micro and macro, and there's all like the same archetypal themes in them. And so an example I can give you is the liver. In order to detoxify and process and start to heal the body, it actually, when you like fast and stuff, it will start to process toxins that are already stored in your body so that it can detoxify them. So it has to be reprocessed essentially to get out of the body. In the same way, our emotions, what we consume, information, our thoughts, our beliefs, all of these things, they need to be processed to be cleared. And so when people talk about like the inner child healing, all these kinds of things, you have to feel that energy and process it in the same way your liver has to process those toxins so it can be flushed out of the system. And so that's why people say like feel to heal. It really is like that because we can process these things. Now, the neat thing about that is you don't have to know the whole story behind what that emotion is or where it came from. That can be helpful, but just processing that emotion is usually enough. And so that's why a lot of people have success with the holotropic breathing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that brings up like the subconscious mind is a big thing that I'm into, is kind of bringing that subconscious mind to the conscious mind and facing everything you see with acceptance and just like willingness. Like that's a big thing with this. You mentioned the psilocybin treatments too, is like that subconscious mind, like stuff sits there and it just emanates from your body, the negative energies and stuff. And when you're doing the movement and the meditative movements like Tai Chi, do you have any visualizations and stuff to kind of
Yeah.
channel that energy?
A great one that I really like is on the exhale. Like if I'm doing like a breathing squat, on the exhale, you visualize roots growing out of your feet into the earth really deep. And on the inhale, imagining yourself reaching up into the like a tree, reaching up into the sun, the air, and it's just like this ease of receiving. And you're also like receiving in when you're doing that. And so that's the thing, like the trees, they just receive the sunlight and the nutrients, and then they give off their like nutrients and they share. It's like symbiosis. Well, as human beings, we're the only creature that kind of like gets in our own way. Like a tree is just doing its treeness. It's just expressing its treeness to the best of its ability, and it just loves doing that. That's its thing. But because we have our minds, we have in all the programming. It's like we get in our own way, and we're like, in reality, each one of us should just be being our like my Ericness, like your Corey-ness. In oh, so sorry, I accidentally
No,
muted
you're
it.
good. No worries.
Yeah, so yeah, and like even in animals, like a cat expresses its catness. You're like, oh, that's very cat-like. It's like this is how the being is showing up, and so our responsibility here, especially in the year 2022, is to really get out of our own way, and that's where these practices such as breath work and Tai Chi, meditation, all these things, and getting the body healthy, clearing out the gut, healthy lifestyle, integrating your system, mind, body, and spirit, so you can navigate effectively and create effectively and just be yourself, get out of all the all those knots we were talking about in the field that like inhibits your ability to just be yourself with ease, because that's all patterning. It's not like real. It's like tangible in a way, but it's not your true nature.
Yeah, because whatever you're thinking, I mean, thoughts create reality. I'm sure like you can
Right.
manifest like positively, negatively. You mentioned the holotropic breathing, and that's something that I've been doing. I know John has been doing for a while now. I mean, normally I'll do like the inhales, the nasal inhales, or I'll do the deep laying down, like the breathing into the stomach, breathing into the chest. Do you have any other holotropic breathing techniques or stuff that you'll do frequently?
I have a limited knowledge on the holotropic. I've tried it once and it was cool. But I've done breath work for a long time, like Wim Hof. I used to do all the time in Virginia, and it was cold. And I would go out in the morning shirtless and just start breathing. I loved it.
Yeah, I've been doing that too.
And so yeah, just any kind of breath work can be really powerful. The key though is really having your breathing mechanics on point, because that was a mistake I made. I would do the breath of fire and stuff like that, but my breathing mechanics were a little bit off, and then that led to a little bit more of a dysfunction, because now it's like this aggressive breath, but it's not functional, if that makes sense. And so you really want full deep diaphragmatic breath into the lower abdominal, upper abdominal, and then the chest expanding at the end, the final 1/3.
Yeah, that's something I've watched from Troy's videos. Is he goes, you can't really see what I'm doing right now, but sitting in the meditative position and opening up like this, and then like contracting like that.
Yep.
But he does it with the holotropic. I don't know. You could obviously probably do it just like with regular breath work, but that's like getting the movement in there as well, along with the breath.
Well, his bodies are so incredible. When I'll share another story I have. I had worked with this chiropractor. He had a very integrated approach to unwinding the nervous system and really balancing you out. And he did physical work on me, and I was walking around and I was like, wow, like it feels really good. Everything feels really aligned. It's easy to move. Everything just felt really fluid. And then I did like DMT with him, and like that was his thing. Like he had a process of like unwind the physical, and then he had this like human design reading he would do, and then he would do the DMT, and it was like I completely left my body and had this like experience of just being expanding and releasing. Everywhere in my body I was holding, I just felt release into this like expansive bliss essentially, and just became one with everything. And there was no it was pure awareness is what it was. I was loving awareness, as Ram Dass says. I am loving awareness. I am loving everything that I am aware of.
That's all about right there.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to spread, bro.
Yeah, the reason I bring that up was at the end of it, I'd done DMT before, and I kind of went there to the beyond or the void, if you will, and I loved it. And I was like, wow, like I don't know if we want to come back and do this human thing. That's pretty nice over there. This second time doing it, I came back like invigorated for life. And I remember having visions of me and my mentor doing like breath with the full body like engaged, and really using the full functionality of it. And it was like so exciting. I was like, well, look what we can do with these like amazing bodies, like moving. And even just like martial arts, striking, like all these things. We can play guitar, we can sing, we can dance, we can draw, like that's what the human experience is all about. We're just like creating all these different things. We can build structures, grow food, like anything you can dream, like you can bring into reality. And so that's how we get ourselves out of the mess we're in right now in the world. We don't have to go to any wars or fight anybody. Stand up for your values, yes, but ultimately just start creating. Get very, very clear on what you want to create and start putting daily action into it. And if your spiritual beliefs are, pray, ask for help. People will show up. I can guarantee you, like on my journey, like I've had these grand visions, and people just show up as I wander. I'm like, I meet people and I'm like, oh, like that person's perfect for this. And it all kind of just flows together. All the opportunities. It's just a matter of being very clear. And, the way I see it right now, there's two collective dreams on earth. There's the dream of constriction and fear and all these things. And that dream exists in a large way. And we have another dream going on the planet that is coherence and symbiosis and community and expansion. And both exist, and whichever one gets the bigger collective energy is going to be the reality. And so that they say, it starts with with us, because that it does start at an individual level. Peace on earth exists within you. Exists within me. It's a state of being. And so we start to embody these holistic lifestyle principles. We start to show up in the world as a healthy, a vital, clear being that's ready to create, engage, and play with the whole process of it, and support others in the journey. And like that's how we change the world.
Yeah, we're all creators of our own reality. We're all creators of whatever we're creating. Like you mentioned, your body's capable of incredible things. Like I play the guitar a lot. I draw. I've been starting to journal now, and I just look at everything as like God like creates everything in the universe
Right.
for just fun, right? And if I'm a part of God, why am I not creating everything just for fun? Like we're casted down here just to create and manifest our destiny, right? And I think our destiny on earth is headed towards that of prosperity and light. Like you mentioned, we have two paths and we got to pick one of them. And I'm hoping we can awaken everybody to that true divine nature in them. And
we already, my friend, it's already, but we still have to go through the
just has to come into fruition.
Yeah, exactly. And there's going to be some processing to be done. I can guarantee you that.